Hey guys, going to have a horror DVD review for you today. This is of the 2010 Paranormal Entity 2. Now, as you can tell by that, it is a rip-off of Paranormal Activity. I've got the series here. You know, it bears striking resemblances in terms of appearance, you know, as you can tell. It's just really similar. And there's 4 Paranormal Entities, and they're released to coincide with the Paranormal Activity releases. So it's made by Asylum, if you're familiar with them. They do the same with lots of other films, such as like Transformers. They released a film at the same time called Transmorphers. So they just try and, they're mockbusters they're called, I believe, and they just try and ride on the success of other popular films, and they're all really low budget, really poor quality, poor everything films. And Paranormal Entity 2 is no different. I've reviewed the first one, which is on my channel. It's one of the first videos I reviewed, and since it's got quite a lot of views, well, by my standard anyway, I've decided to go ahead and review number 2. I didn't like number 1, and I did not like number 2. So number 2 is rather on the real serial killer, John Wayne Gacy, who murdered 33 young men between 1972 and 1978. I've read that from the back, but you know, if you're familiar with him, he was the guy who killed the young boys, and his persona, not whilst killing, but in his job or whatever, free time, whatever, was to dress up as a clown, which to me is really, really unnerving. So I genuinely thought this film could be decent, because a killer clown ghost, you can't go wrong with a killer clown ghost. But you know, this film was not a letdown, because I wasn't expecting much, but it was pretty poor. It's very similar to Grave Encounters, in which a team of paranormal investigators go to investigate not John Wayne Gacy's actual house, because it's been demolished, but what was built on the grounds of his house, or supposedly. I'm not sure if there really is a house there or anything anymore. I don't know. But it's a team of, I think, 6. Yeah, there's 7 of them, and they go to investigate. There's like a professional ghost talker person. Forgot the actual word. And then there's the cameraman, camerawoman, and all stuff like that. And they go to investigate. And of course, slowly they try to contact the ghost of John Wayne Gacy, and stuff starts to unravel. And they contact his ghost, as it says in here. In 2004, a film crew set out to find the ghost of John Wayne Gacy. They did, and they do. Overall, like, obviously, if it's a found footage film, it's set up to look like a police report, and it says at the beginning, you know, it's found footage set up, structured to look like a narrative, and it's, you know, that kind of film. It's nothing new. You could say the found footage thing's getting boring for me. You know, there's so many films found footage now, like there's Blair Witch Project, there's all the Paranormal Activity, the Paranormal Entities, the Grave Encounters, Troll Hunter, I believe. There's so much found footage now that the effect is definitely wearing off. I mean, when I first watched Blair Witch Project, I was really scared. And I think if this was the first found footage film I'd ever seen, it would be quite scary, but you know what to expect. You know, the conventions are starting to form now, really, of the found footage, and you know, this film is nothing new. It's very like cliche to the conventions of the found footage, if there are in fact conventions, which I believe there is. Anyway, the film for me was not scary at all. There was a couple of scenes of suspense and tension when you think something might happen, but it never ends up happening. And you know, when it does happen, it's pretty of an anticlimax, because it leads all the way up to it. And the last 10 minutes of the film were pretty good and pretty okay. But you know, the other 72 minutes of the film were pretty much poor. I mean, when people are being terrorised by the ghost, it wasn't really scary. One thing I did like about it is that you could actually see the ghost. Like, it was kind of like a shadow, a blur. And then they also have this. There's something that I did actually like, is like the thermal. Like, you could actually, there was a point where they looked with a thermal, and you could actually see John Wayne Gacy stood there, and that was quite a good effect. But you know, aside from that, there was very little scares. You know, the usual, a lot of doors slamming, a lot of things fall off the wall like pictures. But it's lost its effect on me because I've seen so many found footage films. Overall, I'd say it was better than the first one, because I think in the first one there was 4 characters, no extras, no nothing, and I think one of the actors was actually the director of the film. There was a few more in this. It seemed like it had a much bigger budget compared to Asylum films, but still it was a very low budget film. It looked like it could have been done by a lot of students, I suppose, because it was a very low budget film. A couple of mistakes. A mistake I did notice, like, apparently the house was built in the 80s or something, but the house was like clearly hundreds of years, well, like 100 years old, and it just didn't make sense at all. Anyway, also at the end, something I kind of liked, that it's shown the autopsy reports of the victims and stuff. That was pretty cool. But one thing I didn't notice, but I'd seen it on IMDb. I believe it was under the goofs section. Is that in one of the deaths he was listed as hypothermia, which is, I might get mixed up, I'm not sure, which is different to hypothermia. And on the autopsy report it was listed the wrong thing. One of them is dying because you're too hot, the other's dying because you're too cold, and they got it wrong in the fake autopsy report, which is just a goof I thought I'd mention. The film ends obviously with like a staticky camera, and like you do finally see like a clown very faintly, which was quite unnerving. But aside from that, there was nothing really scary about the film. So overall, I'd say avoid this film. I'm giving it 3 out of 10. Have you got a rating?
2. I didn't really like it.
So yeah, I mean, you didn't see the first one, but if you had seen the first one, I think you probably would have rated this a bit higher than 2. But unless you rated the first one 1. But, yeah, so these are just rip-offs of Paranormal Activity. I think the Paranormal Activity series is a lot better. I didn't enjoy number 4 at all. I'd say this, but still, it's a lot better than the Paranormal Entity series. I've got number 4. I've not got number 3, and I believe there probably will be number 5 coming out when Paranormal Activity 5 comes out, because, well, they're going to make some money off this, aren't they? Because people are into that kind of films now, and you know, they're going to make money, and they're just going to continue to disappoint people. So avoid this film. Also, quickly, I'm just going to show you some new films I've got. The Vinyan, Lost Souls. I'm not sure if that's a horror, because I thought it was, but it might not be. Pick that up. 5 Across the Eyes, and that looks really good. It's about a group of girls who get stuck in a car and some battles. It looks pretty cool. Butterfly Frick Free, because I got the other 2. Dog Soldiers, which is like an all-time favourite film of mine, like a British horror werewolf film. And The Unborn, which Katie found today. Really happy with that. That was only £1, so I'm happy with that. And Night Watch. I got that because it says it's John claiming to like Before Saw and Hostel, so I thought I'd check it out. But it doesn't exactly seem like a horror after doing some research, but whatever. So yeah, that's my new films, and so thank you for watching my review of Paranormal Entity 2. I'll try and get number 3. I'll review number 3, and I've got number 4, so I'll review that too. So thanks for watching, and please subscribe to me, and I'll keep posting videos. Thank you.